responds to what you do. You cannot afford to drift. You cannot afford to delay. The world doesn't owe you anything. And if you want to win, truly win, you're going to have to earn it, one disciplined decision at a time. Every skipped workout, every snoozed alarm, every broken promise to yourself is a step away from the freedom you crave. And every moment you follow through, every time you do the hard thing, even when no one is watching, that's a deposit into your future. Understand this: freedom is not the absence of rules. Freedom is having the strength to create your own structure. Freedom is waking up and knowing exactly what you're chasing and how to get it. Freedom is knowing you've got your back, no matter what. That comes from discipline. No shortcuts, no handouts, just daily execution. Discipline creates habits. Habits create consistency. Consistency builds character, and character shapes the life you live. You don't need to do 1,000 things right today. Just do one thing, then another. Build the momentum, stack the wins, and when life punches you in the face, stand back up and get after it again. Because every disciplined moment rewrites your story. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be relentless. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for the right mood, the right moment, or the right motivation. Make the decision. Take the step. Be your own hero. Discipline is the bridge between who you are now and who you're meant to become. It is the weapon against weakness, the cure for chaos, and the key to your freedom. And it's forged in the fire of effort, over and over again. You want real power? Take control of your time. Take control of your habits. Take control of your mind, and the rest will follow. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You just need to be disciplined enough to fight for it every day. Discipline is freedom. Own that truth, live it, and watch what happens next. Discipline starts when you make the choice to stop negotiating with your comfort. It begins the moment you wake up and decide not to hit snooze. It's in that split second when your body says, stay in bed, and your mind says, get up anyway. That internal battle right there, that's the birthplace of discipline. Because discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn through repeated action, through self-control, through making the hard decisions consistently. Most people live their lives at the mercy of their moods. If they feel tired, they don't. If they feel anxious, they avoid action. If they don't feel inspired, they wait. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for motivation. It does what must be done regardless. That's why discipline equals freedom. Because when you train yourself to take control of your choices, you take control of your life. No one else is going to save you from chaos, from laziness, from your own self-sabotage. Only you can make the choice to become the kind of person who shows up no matter what. Discipline teaches you to silence the noise of weakness and focus on what truly matters. Every day, we are pulled in 100 different directions by distractions. Our phones, our doubts, our desires for comfort and convenience. But when you choose discipline, you're choosing focus. You're saying, I refuse to let my mind wander aimlessly. I choose to direct it with intention. That choice is everything. Because without direction, even the most talented person will waste their gifts. Without structure, even the strongest will crumble under pressure. But with discipline, you create a mental fortress. You train your mind to do hard things on command. You become reliable. You become unshakable. That's where true freedom lives. Not in doing whatever you feel like, but in knowing that you have the inner strength to do what's necessary, even when it's uncomfortable. Most people confuse freedom with laziness. They think freedom means waking up late, binge-watching shows and eating whatever they want. But that's not freedom. That's slavery to impulse. Real freedom is waking up early, because your purpose won't let you sleep. Real freedom is having the energy, clarity, and strength to pursue your mission, because you've trained yourself to stay ready. Discipline gives you the ability to say no. No to bad habits. No to toxic people. No to opportunities that distract you from your vision. And that no, spoken from a place of inner strength, is one of the most powerful things you can master. Because every time you say no to something that weakens you, you say yes to the version of you that's getting stronger. It's in these tiny daily decisions that freedom is for. It's not about grand gestures or massive moments of change. It's in choosing to prepare your meals instead of ordering junk. It's in choosing to work out when you're exhausted. It's in choosing to read and grow when the world screams for your attention. Those decisions made consistently build momentum, and momentum builds mastery, and mastery leads to the kind of life most people only dream about, because the truth is, everyone wants the results, but very few are willing to embrace the grind. But if you're watching this, I believe you're different. You're not here to be average. You're here to become the kind of person who can be counted on, who shows up, who executes. Discipline is the ultimate self-respect. It says, I am worth the effort. My future is worth the struggle. My purpose is worth the sacrifice. It's not about punishment. It's about protection. Protecting your vision, protecting your mindset, protecting your energy. And once you start walking this path, something incredible happens. You stop fearing obstacles. You start welcoming them because you know you've got the tools to overcome. The more you train your mind to choose discipline over comfort, the more confidence you build, and that confidence is like armor. It shields you from doubt. It silences fear. It allows you to move forward even when the world is falling apart, because you know you've already done the work. You've already built the muscle. You've already shown up on the days that tried to break you, and now you're unbreakable. That's the power of discipline. It transforms you from the inside out. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't boast. It just shows in the way you walk, in the way you speak, in the results you produce. Think about the people you admire, the leaders, the legends, the game changers. What do they all have in common? Discipline. You think they always feel motivated? Absolutely not. They just stopped making excuses. They turned their goals into non-negotiables. And that's what you must do. Make your dream non-negotiable. Make your fitness, your business, your purpose non-negotiable. When you do that, discipline isn't a punishment. It becomes a privilege. You stop complaining about early mornings and start craving them. You stop avoiding discomfort and start chasing it, because you understand this one truth. Comfort never made anyone legendary. If you want to break through, you have to break patterns. You have to go against the grain. You have to train your mind to act when everyone else is hesitating. That's what separates those who live with freedom from those who only talk about it. And that separation, it starts with discipline. So every day ask yourself, are my actions aligning with my vision? Are my habits making me stronger or weaker? Am I leading myself or being led by distractions? These questions are checkpoints. Use them to keep yourself on track, because no one else is going to do it for you. This is your life, your mission, your war to win. And your greatest weapon is your ability to do what most won't, to keep showing up, to keep executing, to keep pushing. That's discipline, and that's why it leads to freedom, not just external freedom, financial success, physical strength, and time ownership, but internal freedom, the kind that can't be bought, the kind that makes you walk through life with power in your chest and peace in your mind, because you know you're living on your terms. You're not a slave to the world's chaos. You're a warrior who built order through effort, who forged greatness through Let the world sleep in. Let others chase ease. You, on the other hand, will wake up and work. You will grind. You will sweat. You will sacrifice. Because freedom isn't found, it's earned, and you are earning it, one disciplined choice at a time. The more disciplined you become, the freer you will be. That's the law. And that law, once accepted, will change your life forever. Discipline is not just about control. It is about taking complete ownership of your reality. You are not here to react to life. You are here to command it. But command doesn't come from wishful thinking. It comes from deliberate action, repeated effort, and the mental resilience to stick with what matters even when no one is watching. Every great warrior, every world-class leader, every dominant athlete understands this. If you want freedom in life, you must first master yourself. And self-mastery begins with discipline. No exceptions. The greatest lie people tell themselves is, I'll do it when I feel ready. But the truth is, you'll never feel ready to do the hard things. Your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort, from struggle, from fear. That's its job. But your job, your real job, is to override that to become so ruthlessly committed to your purpose that you act in spite of fear, in spite of fatigue, in spite of emotion. That is where the real power lives. Most people drift through life, controlled by emotions they don't understand and habits they never chose. They live reactive lives, always responding to what's happening around them, never building anything solid from within. But discipline flips that script. It says, I don't care what's going on outside, I know who I am inside, and that inner foundation is everything. Because when you're disciplined, your mind becomes a weapon, your habits become armor, and your time becomes your greatest investment. You stop wasting hours on things that don't move you forward. You stop being pulled by the chaos of the world, and instead, you start pulling the world toward your goals. That's the shift. That's the transformation. Discipline transforms you from a passive consumer into a deliberate creator. You don't watch success happen. You build it, brick by brick, rep by rep, day by day. People want the rewards of discipline, strength, peace, wealth, influence, but they don't want the pain that comes with it. But here's the truth. Pain is not the enemy. Undirected pain is the enemy. But pain with purpose, that's growth. That's growth. That's transformation. That's power. Discipline is the decision to suffer now so you can succeed later. It's looking at the discomfort, the sacrifice, the delayed gratification, and saying, bring it on. Why? Because you know what's on the other side. You've tasted what it feels like to keep a promise to yourself. You've experienced the quiet pride of knowing you did the work when no one else did. And that feeling, that inner validation, is better than any external praise you'll ever get. It's not about proving the world wrong. It's about proving yourself right. That's what makes discipline a lifestyle, not a task. You don't do it for applause. You do it because it's who you are. And when your identity becomes linked with discipline, you become unstoppable. There are two types of people in the world: those who let their feelings dictate their actions, and those who let their principles lead the way. Discipline is choosing principle over impulse. It's choosing to get up early, even when your body wants to sleep. It's choosing to work out when your muscles ache. It's choosing to say no to distractions, to fast pleasure, to easy outs, because you are locked in on a bigger vision. That vision is your fuel, and the fire that keeps it alive. That's your discipline. Without it, vision dies in your mind. Dreams collapse under the weight of procrastination, but with it, vision becomes real. It materializes. It manifests. You don't just dream, you deliver. Every time you show up with discipline, you deposit into your future. You are building freedom, one brutal decision at a time. You don't need to be perfect to win. You just need to be disciplined. It's not about getting everything right every day. It's about showing up, doing what needs to be done, and staying consistent. Consistency beats perfection every single time. That's where most people fail. They start with fire and fizzle out because they built their actions on emotion, not commitment. But discipline doesn't fizzle. Discipline isn't a spark. It's a furnace. It keeps burning. It keeps going. It fuels you when motivation dies, when hope wavers, when the goal seems too far away. Discipline says, I'm still here. It says, I may be tired, but I'm not done. It says, I will outlast everything that tries to stop me. And when you operate with that mindset, the game changes. You're no longer competing with anyone else. You're competing with who you were yesterday. You're becoming better, stronger, sharper, relentlessly. There's no secret sauce, no shortcut, no hack. The formula is simple. Do the work. Do it early. Do it late. Do it when you're tired. Do it when no one is watching. Do it when it's hard. Do it when it's boring. That's discipline. And eventually it becomes second nature. The resistance fades. The habits lock in. The identity shifts. You no longer ask yourself whether you should train, study, build, execute. You just do. Because that's what warriors do. That's what builders do. That's what leaders do. Discipline is a decision you make again and again until it becomes who you are. And once it becomes who you are, freedom follows. freedom from doubt, freedom from regret, freedom from mediocrity, freedom to live boldly, fully, and without limits. Let others look for hacks. Let others wait for inspiration. Let others stay stuck in cycles of excuses. You rise. You push. You execute. You do what needs to be done, because your freedom depends on it. And make no mistake, discipline is hard. It will test you. It will demand your best, but it will also give you the best life possible, a life of peace, power, and purpose, not because it was handed to you, but because you earned it, one disciplined step at a time. Discipline is not a punishment, it's the ultimate act of self-respect. It's the daily proof that you believe in your future, more than your feelings, that you trust the process, more than the comfort of the present moment. When you develop discipline, you begin to live with intention. Your actions are no longer random. Your days are no longer reactive. You become proactive, strategic, and deliberate. You set your own standard, and rise to meet it without needing external validation. Because here's the truth, the world will not hand you greatness. Life will not pause for your excuses. Time will not wait for your motivation to return. If you want real change, lasting transformation, it has to come from you, and that change is not built in sudden moments of passion. It is built in quiet hours of consistency, in the lonely moments, when you choose discipline over distraction. Most people run from that stillness. They crave noise, comfort, entertainment, anything to distract them from the truth they're avoiding. That freedom requires responsibility, and responsibility is heavy, but it's worth every ounce of effort. You will never rise above the standards you set for yourself, and discipline is how you set those standards in motion. It's how you take control of your narrative. People love to talk about rewriting their story, but they don't want to do the work that story demands. Discipline is that work. It's waking up with clarity, knowing exactly who you want to become, and then taking the actions that make that identity real, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because that's when discipline has the most power. It shapes you under pressure. It builds resilience when things fall apart. It becomes your anchor when life tries to pull you under. And over time, you start to notice the transformation. You stop looking for someone to push you, and instead you pull yourself forward. You become the engine. You generate your own momentum. You build your own fire. That's when you realize freedom was never about doing whatever you want. It was always about having the strength to do what you must, no matter how you feel. True discipline is invisible. It doesn't shout. It doesn't boast. It doesn't post every win for the world to see. It works in silence, builds in silence, and eventually shines, so loud that no one can ignore it. Because when you live with discipline, the results speak for you. You don't have to prove yourself. You become proof that consistency beats talent, proof that work ethic beats wishful thinking, proof that ordinary people can build extraordinary lives when they commit without compromise. The path is never easy, but it's always worth it. And here's the secret. The freedom that discipline gives you isn't just external. Yes, it gives you the power to shape your circumstances, build wealth, master your body, own your time. But the real freedom is internal. It's the calm you feel, knowing you kept your word to yourself. It's the confidence of showing up day after day, regardless of fear, fatigue, or frustration. It's the rare and priceless peace of having nothing to prove to anyone, because you already proved it to yourself. We live in a world that glorifies ease and convenience. Everything is designed to be faster, simpler, more comfortable. But greatness doesn't live in comfort. Growth doesn't happen in ease. And fulfillment isn't found in shortcuts. It's earned through sacrifice, through structure, through self-control. Discipline is your rebellion against mediocrity. It's your daily resistance against the part of you that wants to quit, settle, and you fight that part every single day with the choices you make. You win that war every time you show up when it's hard. Every time you do what's necessary, not what's easy. Every time you say no to the short-term fix in favor of the long-term goal. These are the invisible battles that shape your character, And character is what builds your legacy. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need endless motivation. You just need discipline and the courage to keep going when everything inside you says, stop. Freedom is not the absence of rule, it's the presence of alignment. When your thoughts, actions, and goals are aligned, when they're grounded in a disciplined life, you feel free, because you are no longer at war with yourself. You know what you want, you know what it costs, and you've already decided to pay that price. That internal alignment eliminates doubt, it silences fear, it replaces chaos with clarity, because when you're disciplined, you don't need to rely on external circumstances to feel in control. You are in control. Your habits don't shift with your emotion. Your routine doesn't break under pressure. Your standards don't fall when things get tough. This is how you create freedom, not through avoidance, but through ownership. You own your time. You own your focus. You own your choices. And in doing so, you take full responsibility for your future. There's nothing glamorous about discipline in the beginning. It's painful. It's repetitive. It's brutally honest. It will force you to confront every excuse, every weakness, every fear you've been hiding behind. But that confrontation is necessary, because behind those excuses lies your true power, and the only way to access it is through discipline. No one else can walk this path for you. No one else can carry your weight. You either show up and do the work, or you stay stuck in the same place, wishing things were different. Wishing is not a strategy. Hoping is not a plan. Discipline is the only thing that turns vision into reality. It's the bridge between who you are and who you could be, and every step across that bridge is earned with consistent, focused, disciplined action. People ask, how do I get motivated? The real question is, how do I get disciplined? Because motivation is a feeling, and feelings fade. Discipline is a decision, and decisions shape destiny. You train yourself to be disciplined, the same way you train a muscle through repetition, resistance, and time. You don't wait to feel ready. You act. You build systems. You eliminate distractions. You protect your energy. You set boundaries. You design your environment to support your goals, not sabotage them. That's how discipline becomes your default, not by hoping, but by engineering your life to reflect your highest standards. You can have excuses, or you can have results, but you can't have both. Discipline is the line in the sand. It says, I refuse to settle. It says, I'm done negotiating with my weaknesses. It says, I'm committed to living on purpose, no matter what. That kind of discipline makes you dangerous, not in a destructive way, but in a powerful way, because disciplined people don't panic. They don't break. They adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward. They are grounded, focused, and unshakable. They lead themselves first, and in doing so, they earn the right to lead others. So ask yourself, what kind of life do you want? One dictated by impulses, distractions, and regret, or one designed with clarity, intention, and freedom? The difference is discipline. The choice is yours, and it's a choice you make, not once, but every single day. Discipline is the only true path to internal mastery. When the world is thinning fast, when chaos is closing in, and when everything feels uncertain, the person who has trained themselves with discipline becomes the calm in the storm. This isn't about being emotionless or robotic. It's about having control over your reactions, your focus, your energy. It's about being intentional with your every move, while others are lost in confusion. Discipline gives you the ability to act based on values, not mood, to respond with clarity instead of react with fear. Most people are slaves to their feelings. They only work when they feel like it. They quit when it's uncomfortable. They run when the pressure builds. But you, if you're walking this path, must be different. You must be driven by principle, not comfort. Because freedom doesn't come to those who wait for it. It comes to those who work for it, who earn it daily, through disciplined thought, disciplined action, disciplined identity. You have to train your mind like a soldier. Train it to be focused in distraction,
firm in temptation, and relentless in pursuit. Every time you choose to delay gratification, to say no to the easy path, to push forward when the mind begs you to stop, you're not just building willpower, you're breaking the chains of mental slavery. You begin to free yourself from the addictions of modern life, scrolling for validation, complaining without action, chasing quick dopamine hits that rob your future for a moment's comfort. You rise above that. You become the kind of person who others look to when things get hard, because you've proven that you can hold the line. You've become your own leader, your own coach, your own savior. You no longer outsource your motivation. You don't need others to clap for your effort, because you clap for your consistency. You don't need others to believe in you, because your discipline proves that you believe in yourself. That is real power, when your life becomes the result of your decisions, not your distraction. Discipline gives you that power. It's the gateway to self-trust. It's the foundation of confidence, because confidence is not about arrogance. It's about knowing you will show up for yourself, no matter how you feel. That kind of confidence cannot be bought. It cannot be faked. It is earned in sweat, in stillness, in sacrifice. And while the world may never fully understand your grind, that's okay. This isn't about them. This is about who you are becoming in the dark, when no one's watching. It's about the integrity you build every time you keep a promise to yourself. It's about the quiet dignity of knowing that you live in alignment with your values, your goals, your future. There's no audience for that. There's no applause for that. But there is peace. And in a noisy world full of chaos and comparison, that peace is priceless. So understand this: the cost of discipline is high, but the cost of regret is far higher. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of failure lasts a lifetime. Every time you choose to do what's right over what's easy, you're investing in a future version of yourself, who will thank you. That version of you is watching. That version of you is counting on you not to give in. That version of you needs you to be strong today, so they can be free tomorrow. There will be days you want to quit, days when your mind whispers lies. You're not good enough. It's too late. This doesn't matter. That's when discipline becomes your weapon, not motivation, not inspiration, just cold, focused, unshakable discipline. The voice that says, I show up anyway. That voice is forged, not born. It is trained, cultivated, sharpened, and the only way to sharpen it is by choosing action over excuses, purpose over pleasure, mission over mood. Discipline is not a feeling, it's a lifestyle. It's a daily contract between you and your future, and the terms are clear. Show up, or stay stuck. Choose growth, or choose comfort. Win the morning or lose the day. It's always in your hands. And if you fail today, don't wallow in shame. Reset, refocus, recommit. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means persistence. It means resilience. It means never giving up on the person you're trying to become, even when it hurts. You are building something no one else can see. A mindset, a work ethic, a future. People may doubt you, laugh at you, dismiss you, but they won't matter, because discipline removes the need for external permission. You no longer need to be told you're doing enough. You know you are. You no longer need to chase recognition. You recognize your own effort, and when you move like that, you become untouchable, not because life won't challenge you, but because you've become the kind of person who doesn't fold under pressure. You've built an inner fortress. You've carved out mental freedom. You've created a life on your terms, not dictated by distraction, emotion, or fear, but designed by choice, commitment, and courage. And that freedom, that real deep, unshakable freedom, it's what most people crave, but only the disciplined ever truly find. So to anyone listening to this, remember that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the results, the life, the identity you dream of. It is up to you. That truth might seem heavy, But it's also liberating, because if it's up to you, then you don't have to wait, you don't have to beg, you don't have to hope, you just have to work, and work with relentless, consistent, focused discipline. That is your path to freedom. That is how you win. That is how you build a life that commands respect, not because you demand it, but because your discipline earned it. So take a breath, look at your life, and make the decision today, not tomorrow, this moment, not some future moment. Discipline equals freedom. Discipline creates transformation. Discipline makes greatness inevitable. Choose it, live it, become it.